Whoville is bursting with Christmas moments as the Whos open their shops and prepare for the most merry season of all. While the townspeople embrace the holiday spirit with ice skating and festive clothes, a grumpy Grinch remains tucked away in his dreary house on the mountain. During his unusual morning routine, he summons his loyal dog Max. Max operates a complex contraption to serve coffee and helps the grumpy Grinch into his clothes. However, he discovers his cupboards are completely bare, a consequence of his recent emotional eating and comfort eating. The realization that he must venture into Whoville for supplies triggers a panic attack for the Grinch, who knows that once he leaves his mountain sanctuary, he can't escape Christmas or the overwhelming cheer of the villagers. Lesson 1. Personal growth happens when we leave our comfort zone. He begins performing petty, mean acts that remind everyone why he's a mean one. His attempt at being alone is thwarted by a persistent group of carolers, showing how the Grinch can't escape Christmas no matter where he hides. Lesson 2. Running away from your problems is a race you will never win. Inside a bustling home in Whoville, a hardworking mother named Donna tries to enjoy the Christmas moments while exhausted from her work. She briefly wipes away a tear, only to put on a brave face so her family sees only her love and dedication. She sends the spirited Cindy Lou Who off with a warm kiss. Gliding swiftly through the snowy streets of Whoville, Cindy Lou accidentally crashes into the cynical Grump, knocking Mr. Grinch flat into the snow. As the cynical Grump treks back toward his dreary house, he finds he truly can't escape Christmas when he passes by the residence of Mr. Bricklebaum. Despite being surrounded by the happiest person in the village, the Grinch maintains his cold exterior, choosing his path of being alone and remaining a dedicated Grinch toward the holiday season as he retreats from the glowing lights. Lesson 3. In the words of Plato, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Seeking an outlet for his sour mood, he plays a melancholy song on the pipe organ while Max tries to join in on the drums. But he sends his loyal dog to bed in a huff. Lesson 4. In the words of Josh Billings, a dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than he loves himself. However, their quiet evening is shattered when the grumpy Grinch steps outside and spots Mr. Bricklebaum hauling the biggest tree imaginable toward the village. In the heart of Whoville, the villagers bring ornaments for the biggest Christmas tree before the lighting of Whoville's tree. Mr. Grinch prepares a massive catapult to destroy the village's center of joy, but the machine slips toward the cliff's edge and launches the Grinch himself directly into the branches of Whoville's tree. As he tumbles through the festive decorations, he accidentally strikes the power button, unintentionally completing the task of lighting Whoville's tree to the cheers of the enamored crowd. The festivities trigger a panic attack for the Grinch, showing us the story of Grinch. He is haunted by the memory of being alone as a child in a cold orphanage, watching from the shadows while families shared Christmas dinner and festivities together. Lesson 5. An African proverb says, "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth." Seated at his massive organ, the cynical Grump finally solidifies a wonderful, awful idea that will stop the festivities once and for all. He vows to become the ultimate Christmas thief, deciding that if he can't have a merry season, no one in Whoville will. The next morning, he tackles the plan to ruin Christmas with intense focus. Lesson 6. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, a man is what he thinks about all day long. In another part of Whoville, Cindy Lou Who focuses on her own brainstorming session, How to Trap Santa Claus. Lesson 7. Brainstorming is the act of connecting dots that haven't been connected before. As the cynical Grump dives deeper into the plan to ruin Christmas, he spends his hours brainstorming how to perfectly replicate the look of the man in red. But a sled would require reindeer, so he sets out on a quest for reindeer into the frozen wilderness. But his first attempt at a reindeer mating call only results in a screaming goat. Undeterred, the grumpy Grinch and Max push further into the brutal cold weather searching for reindeer until they find a massive herd. Disaster strikes when the goat lets out a piercing shriek, scaring off every animal except for one fat, very large reindeer that the Grinch names Fred. Lesson 8. Sometimes you have to work with what you have. Down in the snowy heart of Whoville, Cindy Lou Who organizes a secret meeting with her closest friends to unveil her ambitious strategy to trap Santa Claus. In a daring move to advance the plan to ruin Christmas, the cynical grump sneaks toward the house of Mr. Bricklebaum to steal a sleigh for his heist. But the Grinch and the guard dog have an encounter. While the Christmas thief struggles to evade the guard dog, the oblivious and merry Mr. Bricklebaum simply assumes his pet is performing new tricks for the holiday, even wondering if Santa himself might be outside. Lesson 9. Ignorance is bliss. The next morning, the Christmas thief moves into the next phase of the plan to ruin Christmas, launching a high-tech reconnaissance mission to map out every house in Whoville. As he pilots his flying contraption over the village to count houses and finalize his heist, he relies on Max to keep a steady eye on the targets below. Lesson 10. Information is the currency of victory. Back in the mountain, the Grinch reminds his team not to get distracted by the allures of Christmas while on the mission. Cindy Lou Who and her team of friends construct a way to trap Santa Claus by using a cookie. The plan is workable, but perhaps after a kink or two are worked out. With his high-tech sled finally customized with extra features, the Grinch hooks up Fred the reindeer for a high-speed test run. They barrel down the snowy slopes at ridiculous speeds. However, the test comes to a sudden halt when Fred spots his family. In a surprising moment of empathy for the Grumpy Grinch, he decides to let his new friend go. Lesson 11. In the words of Michael Novak, love is not a feeling of happiness. Love is a willingness to sacrifice. While Whoville buzzes with final Christmas moments and families capture photos of their holiday joy, the cynical grump stays deep within his mountain lair, finalizing the plan to ruin Christmas. The Grumpy Grinch calls Max and recruits his loyal companion to serve as his lone reindeer. Lesson 12. In the words of Mark Twain, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. As night falls over Whoville, the town settles into a quiet anticipation of Christmas Eve. However, as soon as she is tucked in, Cindy Lou slips back downstairs to finalize her game plan. Under the cover of night, the Grinch launches his wonderful, awful idea. From house to house, the Christmas thief deploys an arsenal of high-tech contraptions to gather up every ornament, gift, and tree. With the efficiency of a seasoned professional executing the plan to ruin Christmas, he slides down chimneys and uses specialized tools to snag every bit of holiday cheer, dumping the loot onto his ever-growing pile. Lesson 13. In the words of Thomas Edison, there's a way to do it better. Find it. As the cynical grump slides into the final home of his heist, he finds himself in the middle of Cindy Lou Who's house, where he finally gives in to temptation and grabs a cookie that triggers her trap. She releases him and offers a glass of milk, treating the Christmas thief like the real Santa. She explains that her only wish isn't for toys, but for someone to help her hard-working mother, a request that shatters the cynical grump's belief that the holiday is only about greed. Despite his second thoughts and a heart that is starting to stir, the legendary Christmas thief suppresses his emotions to finish his wonderful, awful idea, stripping the house bare and hauling the stolen joy of the entire village up the mountain. Lesson 14. Changes of heart don't always happen in an instant. As the morning sun rises over a stripped and silent village, Cindy Lou Who discovers her empty home, but her mother explains that the true spirit of the holiday is something a Christmas thief can never touch. High atop the mountain, the cynical grump prepares to finish the plan to ruin Christmas by pushing the massive hull off of a cliff. Yet he is frozen in place by the sound of the Who's singing despite their loss. This display of resilience triggers a transformation in the Grinch. Lesson 15. Before making a major decision, take a moment to think twice. But the sled teeters over the abyss, leading to a desperate rescue mission where the Grumpy Grinch struggles to save the town's Christmas gifts and decorations. Fred and his family, with Max, pull the Grinch and the sleigh back to safety. The Grinch hurtles back toward the village, blowing his horn to herald the return of every stolen gift and decoration he snatched during his wonderful, awful idea. In the center of the town circle, the former Christmas thief confesses his plan to ruin Christmas and offers a heartfelt apology to the bewildered Who's. Believing he still belongs in the shadows, he retreats to his mountain home to resume being alone. He presents the loyal Max with a festive gift of his own. Lesson 16. In the words of Booker T. Washington, if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. The Grinch is surprised to have a guest at his door and is stunned by Cindy Lou, who sincerely invites him to join her family for Christmas dinner at 6 p.m. The former cynical grump stands at the door with Max, hesitating before finally ringing the bell to join the very people he once tried to ruin. Donna Lou welcomes him into the warmth of her home, where the legendary Christmas thief sheds his bitter past to help the hardworking mother. Sitting at the table, overflowing with Christmas moments, the Grinch admits this is his first actual holiday meal, marking the official end of his long cycle of being alone. Lesson 17. In the words of the Grinch, to kindness and love, the things we need most.